In this lesson, we are going to be talking about how to build your $1 million sales machine. So, when starting out, it's important to know that you are not going to have 3% of your audience that's ready to buy from you. In fact, no one is really going to know you or trust you yet. And all of your effort is going to be going into cold prospecting and nurturing, AKA the first generation of your audience. And this is done through our sales mastery system. And let me just kind of show you a quick picture of it. If you scroll down here to the middle of the lesson here, you will actually see what the sales funnel is going to look like that your customer is going to go through on the customer journey. So to kind of look at a larger perspective of it here, let me just flip over to this image here for you. So essentially, you have three stages that your buyers are going to be going through as, again, they go through the customer journey. They're going to really ascend from the bottom up here. So in the beginning, you're not going to have 3% of your audience that's ready to buy from you, because these are essentially the leads that you've warmed up and that have gotten to know you, like you, and trust you through your content. So really, you're starting from down here in this section where they're just becoming problem aware of, one, that they have a problem, and then seeing that, two, that there is a solution for that problem. So this is where they are the cold lead. So when you're finding cold leads, or you're starting to interact with cold leads, the first time they are going to become aware of you is when they've engaged or seen, come across a post perhaps that you've posted in another Facebook group. Kind of what we've been doing over the past couple of weeks is identifying those Facebook groups that are going to have those quality leads of that you're looking for inside those groups. So as you start to post content, this really the lead generation content, that they are going to see that content and they're going to become interested in learning more about you. So what happens from here is, once they've now become aware, one, that they have a problem, and two, that there's a solution for that problem, they're going to then send you over a friend request, or perhaps you have sent them a friend request, because one of the activities I have you doing is going through and finding members with things in common, and friend requesting those people. Or another step would be as well to send them a friend request once they have been commented and engaged in your content. And we will continue to work through that. So that'll make more sense as we go through. But essentially what's going to happen is you're going to create lead generation content, and also what we call viral transformational posts, where we're really sharing your story, your hero story of how you moved from that hell to that heaven state and got the result that they're desiring. So you're going to be posting that inside these groups where you are allowed to post. So they are going to like it, they're going to comment on it, engage with it, and so forth. So then you will send them a friend request once you've identified that they're a lead for you. So they also, once they become a friend of yours, following you on your personal page, either on Facebook or on Instagram, then they're going to start seeing and engaging with some of your posts on your Facebook page. And again, kind of as they're moving through that buyer's journey, then they're, becoming aware of who you are, and they're becoming interested in what it is that you have to say. And then also you may have engaged, either it's an inbound DM or it's an outbound DM where you have sent it to them, but this is where you're just really saying hello and starting to build that rapport. So then they're going to ascend up into the moving from that cold lead to now the warm lead. And this is where they are starting to see that you're consistently showing up as an authority figure in your space. This is where you're consistently posting content every single day through your post, your lives, your stories, your reels, and so forth. And we'll dive more into that in just a minute and show you what that looks like. But this is where they're seeing you post, they're getting to know you as the go-to person for the problem that you solve, because you're constantly nurturing them through your content, with content surrounding your topic. and then they're engaging with your content, and perhaps they have messaged you in the DMs, again, building that rapport, establishing that know, like, and trust factor in the DMs to further build that relationship. So now they're going to ascend into the hot lead. So what is a hot lead? A hot lead is when their leads are inbound messaging you. They're coming into your inbox. They're asking what you do. They want to learn more. They're interested in your offers. They're engaging with your keyword call to actions. So you'll be learning different keyword call to actions that you can put on your post to encourage your leads to take that next step with you. So perhaps it's a lead magnet or a free resource or guide that you've created, or it is a live stream video that you have created for them, or a pre-recorded video, something of that nature that you have recorded, and you tell them to send you a message in the DMs or drop you the word, me, or interested, or, something of that nature that you have directed them on, to send you a DM or to drop that keyword call to action, so you can then further engage with them and send them that resource, or get in their inbox and provide them the information that they're looking for. And really the job of that content piece is to get your leads to get into conversation with you in the DM. So that is the purpose of our keyword call to action, because we know statistically that, and just intuitively that it's more difficult to build conversation and relationship and in just the engagement section of, like, the comment thread on a particular post. But once we get into the DMs, that is that space where your ideal client or your lead is more apt to really have that conversation with you to further elaborate on what it is that they're struggling with, and also to talk about what their goals are, and kind of what that bottleneck is that has kept them standing in their way, to keep them from moving from that hell to that heaven, from their problem to their goals. And that's where then you get the opportunity to introduce your solution, and letting them know that you would love to go ahead and book a call, or they've asked, they want to learn more, they're raising their hand, they want to learn more, and you just say, um, I'd love to have a conversation with you to further discuss. It's, really too much to just kind of, get into the DMs in here and so forth. So that's when you're going to go ahead and send them your call link. That's why we created the call appointment. So you're going to send them the call link then to go ahead and then book a call. So that's kind of the journey that, your leads are taking. Again, when you're first starting out, you're not going to have that 3%, because you are just building your audience, or your audience is just becoming aware that you actually, have a new business and you have a new offer. And this is, the people that you help and the problem that you solve. So when you're first starting out and you're first posting content, you can't expect that people are going to immediately raise their hand and start, jumping from cold to hot and jumping into those sales calls immediately. Not that we haven't seen that happen. We have, just depending on, how motivated the lead is to take action. But this is the journey that you're going to be able to take your audience through as they move from that cold stage and, problem aware, to the warm stage, to the hot stage. So this kind of just recaps again what I just said. Again, the cold leads, they're problem aware, they've seen your post, they've sent you a friend request, and so on. And then they move into the warm leads, where they are seeing you consistently show up with authority. So it's really important that you have a consistent content flow, where you're posting content on a daily basis on your feeds and your stories, and showing consistency and authority through that way. And then that they start to engage with your content, and then start to message you in the DMs. And then they move into that hot stage. And we will be learning really how to prioritize who we're having those conversations with. As you start to really build up your audience, we really want to, first be messaging and responding to the messages of the people that are in that hot stage. Those people that have raised their hand and self-selected into wanting to jump on the phone call with you, or wanting to interact and get that lead magnet. Those those are the hot leads because they have expressed that desire for more information and what it is that you're helping people with. So if you have any questions, let me know. And hopefully that makes sense to you on how that journey looks like, what that journey looks like for your ideal client as they move through the customer journey. So once you have a wholly nurtured audience, you won't have to spend so much time on the cold outreach anymore because, again, as you continually, especially in the stage here, as people see you continually posting content, educating them, inspiring them, sharing your wins, sharing your customer testimonials if you have those, or your own personal accomplishments, which many of you, that's where you're going to start, is with your own personal accomplishments. You'll be sharing that, and that's where they're going to see that, you've been through that journey, you've had that victory in the area that they want, and that you're helping them already solve a bit of the problem through your content. And that's where they're going to want to learn more. So you will eventually have a funnel full of warm and hot leads as you continue to build out your concept to client sales mastery system. So through the content to client sales mastery system, we focus on a few key areas here, and just kind of scroll down and show you what that looks like. And then also let me show you, blow up the image here for you. So we talk a lot about what this looks like in your business. So on a day-to-day basis, this is kind of what we are focusing on. These are our primary revenue generating activities that you hear me refer to a lot in this program of generating traffic. So this is where we're generating qualified leads in our traffic generating activities through Facebook groups, through Facebook page, through your Instagram. And then after we, start to add, and our goal, our KPI here will be starting with adding 30 to 50 qualified leads a day from our different traffic channels. And perhaps you're using a different social media platform too, and that's fine, whether it's TikTok or Instagram or Pinterest or LinkedIn. It really doesn't matter as long as you are getting in front of the right people. And then you're going to be nurturing them through your content. So this would look like your lives, your reels, your stories, your posts, your emails, if you have an email at this point, or if you don't, that's fine too. You don't need it to start with. And then from your content, the job of the content is to get your leads into conversation with you. So here we've attracted the people, we've either sent them a friend request or they've sent you a friend request because they have seen your content, right? Or they've seen you in a particular group or so forth. Then you nurture them through that content, and that content's job is to get them to take the next step with you. And that next step is really diving into conversations. So you can further build that know, like, trust factor with them. So you can further nurture and develop those relationships. So this happens in the DMs on Instagram or the private messaging on Facebook. And the goal in this, the KPI here, is that KPI is key performance indicator. Our goal here is to book sales calls. Because sales calls and your high ticket offer is where you're going to be able to then get to conversion. It's where you're going to be able to further identify what the ideal client's problems are, what their goals are, what the bottleneck is, and then be able to offer them the solution, which is the next best step for them to take to be able to get their victory in the area that they're looking for that help with. And then the final phase of the Call to Serve program and what I help you with is the fulfillment, right? This is where you're delivering your program, you're helping your students to be able to get those transformations, helping them reach those goals that you've promised to educate them and empower them to be able to accomplish through your work together. And then ultimately is to get those testimonials, right? So as you're gathering testimonials from your clients, then testimonials truly become the best form of marketing. So we will take these testimonials and we'll bring them back over here and put them in your content to be able to really establish more authority, with your clients. There's no better way to be able to really showcase your results than through people, giving you those testimonials and letting them, speaking for you and what the program and your work together has done for them. That will be super, super powerful over here in your content to let those testimonials shine the light for you, right? To be your cheerleader, the program's cheerleader of how incredible it is to work together in those programs. But for now, you won't have necessarily these testimonials. We'll be walking through how you can get some beta clients in the beginning to establish some testimonials for you so you can start building them in. But in the meantime, you will be using like your accomplishments that you've personally achieved in your life through your journey, through the problem you're helping solve, or perhaps you have family members and friends that you've helped as well, that you can share some stories. So that again is kind of a visual map of the content to client sales mastery system of what you're taking your leads through. Again, it's that traffic to content, content to conversation, conversation to conversion, and then ultimately to fulfillment. So let me just hop back over here. So again, the breakdown here, well, if you kind of look at the notes here, just a little recap of what that looks like, the traffic, and here's your traffic sources. So it would be your Facebook group, your page, your Instagram, and your other social media platforms. And then moving into content is just kind of a broad list of the content that you will be creating throughout your business, and then getting into the conversations to move to conversions, to move to fulfillment. So that in a nutshell is what you are creating through your $1 million sales machine. That is how you're going to be ascending your clients through your content, through your lead or your revenue generating activities. That's how you're going to ascend them from being cold to not knowing who you are, all the way to the moving them to the warm category, moving them to that ready 3% ready to buy. Because typically on average, the rule of thumb is that there are 3% of people ready to buy or ready to invest in your offer or the problem that you're solving at any given time. So our goal is to be able to become known as that person who has a solution for them. So kind of once you get this revved up, again, like you're not going to expect it right off the bat, but once you start to begin to build this authority and be seen as the go-to expert in the field that you have, knowing people know you, know that you have solutions for them through your programs, then thinking of like out of every 1,000 leads that you start to build, essentially 3% are ready to buy now. And that's the 3% that we want to, that's our goal, is to be able to capture that 3%, if not more at any given time, and to enroll them in your offers and help to get those transformations. So if you have any questions on that, go ahead and drop them in the group or bring them to the next call, and I will see you over in the next video.